Welcome back to Watching Film with Seth Varnadore. I'm a former high school and college football coach. This year, I'm teaming up with Alligator Army to break down the Florida games. Not a ton of good stuff in this Georgia game, but I thought, outside of the end of the first half, you had the game was played somewhat evenly. Florida couldn't really do much on offense, but that really the end of the half, of that first half, there is really where the game broke open, and so that's what I want to focus some time on this week. Let's just look at what happened at the end of the half, how Georgia was able to kind of generate some points both on offense and defense, what Florida could have done a little bit differently, and then we'll get out of here. We'll keep it short this week after that tough game against Georgia. I think, but this seemed to be the critical point in the game, so I think it's worthwhile to go back and watch it a little bit. So this is after, I believe, Florida goes for it on 4th and 13. Georgia gets the ball. And they're actually going to break out a little play that Florida ran a ton against Alabama. You go back and watch. You had this look against Alabama quite a bit. You got a couple guys going deep here. You're looking for the back on the wheel here. And if they turn and run with it, like they do here, then you got the tight end coming across. So giving the Florida a little taste of their own medicine here. Bringing the tight end back across for a big play. Then the next play, try to get Florida on a wheel route here. And this is a pretty good job by Florida. Safety's here, recognizes the wheel route, turns and runs. And I don't know why the quarterback thinks he can throw this ball, throws it right to the safety. And then he thought he caught it and went into the end zone. He didn't think his momentum took him there, so he tried it to get out, puts Florida in a bad situation, which leads to this. So Florida's got the ball, first down, don't get much of anything. 12 personnel, bring the tight end across. Just going to run quarterback power. Seemingly a safe play here. Down blocks. He's going to lock there. Wrapping him around. He'll be leading up. I guess with it being on the goal line, they didn't want the back to kick out. They'd rather have the big body on the end there. Actually get it blocked up all right. And this is just kind of more unfortunate than anything. You can see Anthony Richards is trying to put two hands on it. What is this? Pile gets moved and people are just pulling their whole body weight on it. Ball pops out. Georgia gets the football. So this is kind of right. This is where the game kind of turned right here. Florida hadn't done much on offense. They had a couple drives, had some chances to get in field goal range, missed the field goal, then went for it on 4th down, but not too much going on. And then immediately come out and miss a line on defense. So you got 6 men on the line of scrimmage here. This is the tight end. So Florida is aligning as if he's the tight end because that is the tight end. That's Bowers right there. But this is the center. So right here you have center, guard, tight end. And here you have guard, tackle, tackle. So Georgia went tackle over. All right, so technically, if you're looking at it on how to line up defensively, that is the tight end. That's where you're setting the strength to, right? So Florida's got a one tech here between the guard and center, and then they've got outside shade, it looks like, of the tackle. You have what's supposed to be your 3 tech here is lined up between a guard and a tight end. And then it looks like Brenton Cox is lining up possibly. I'm not sure if he's a boundary player or if he's lining up to the tight end side, but you got him outside the tight end because it's the tight end by personnel, but it's not the tight end by alignment. So that's the bust on this play. Georgia comes out first play of the drive. And you just see how I got 2-on-2 right there. I can double this guy and then work up. There aren't enough bodies on that side of the line of scrimmage. That's just a simple misalignment. This is something you'll see. I mean, you see a lot of teams at lower levels run tackle over. You can see it right here. Center, guard, guard, tight end, tackle, tackle. Florida didn't see it. Didn't align to it. So now if I split the line in half right here, let's consider these guys one-on-one right there. So I got 3 linemen for 2 defensive linemen. That's easy. And then I'm not even gonna block the backside because I'm gonna have a read off of it. So they were screwed by alignment right there. It was over before the ball was even snapped. Not great recognition there. And just kind of a misalignment. And then you're bringing one off the edge on the backside. Doesn't really help you either. So easy for the Georgia offense right there. Florida gets the ball back after a false start. They're trying to run the speed option. They're going to have to come up with a different look off of this. Georgia just started flying their linebacker out immediately once he saw the running back run out for pitch, and he's kind of able to run over the top of this. I coached against a team that ran a lot of speed option, and then they'd have a guy hook up right here. This is before RPOs became a real big thing. This is like the early 2010s. Manatee High School with Joe Canan, legendary high school coach in the state of Florida. They would run speed option, then have a guy sit here. As soon as your linebacker flew out to speed option, quarterback would just throw it to this guy. It was extremely difficult to defend because you had a great running threat at quarterback. You had some speed at running back. And then if you didn't cover this guy, you had some speed at receiver. So it made the option game extremely difficult to defend. Florida's going to have to come up with some type of wrinkle like that off of this. Otherwise, people are just going to string this thing out and then hope their D linemen can kind of run flat down the line, get this thing to cut back into them and get to cut back into the pursuit, right? So they're going to have to come up with something different on that speed option look because teams are just going to start flying to it. So, some type of reverse, you can protect with a reverse too. That would be helpful. So now you're 2nd and 14. So you're showing like an odd man look here into the boundary. This is also an outside backer rush end, I believe. So you're actually going to show like he's coming and drop him. You're also going to drop him underneath and bring these 2 in here, both in the A gap. One eats up the center and guard. The other one wraps around. Right. So he lines up over the guard out to try to get this expansion by the guard and tackle. Right. He shows for a second, drops. Tackle's got to respect him coming. So he pass sets. Up here, he's going out there. So these 2 guys are going out, trying to kind of widen eyes and everything. And now I'm going to take the center right here, and I'm going to loop around pretty much free. You get a free hit on the quarterback here, and you force a throw. The quarterback doesn't see that the end is dropped. So now he gets under the play and tips it to the other outside linebacker end that is dropped. You see what he's thinking right here. He's probably thinking with 2 coming, he might be thinking, I'm hot now. I need to get the ball in this throw right here. Doesn't really locate him. You can kind of see it even. It's a little more blatant from the back end here. Good design by Georgia, obviously, on defense. Watch how the movement of these guys influences the eyes in here. They don't do a bad job there, but then this is coming around, coming free. I believe, so just to look back here, he wanted this shot out here. They had a vertical here. I believe they have the middle read, the flat, and the curl back this way from Florida. If you've watched any of these videos all year, you've seen this a ton. The safety widens over the top. Looks like they might be playing, they played at times a lot of what looked like 2-man. This wasn't it here, but they played a lot of 2-high shell. Right here, you can see he's got eyes. Looks like he's got eyes on the safety, so he knows, hey, the vertical is gone. So if it's a 2-high look, you're probably thinking, if I can get the ball in between the safeties right here, I got a pretty good play. And you would have. Throw's not great. And then you didn't see the dropping end or linebacker there. But that's what he's looking for. He got the safety to run out to the go route, coming back to the middle read. Just got to make sure you see that guy. And these are the things that a young quarterback will have to learn, and learn kind of. I think he's learned a few lessons on Saturday. So this is just kind of like a slot fade or a hitch seam, but it's really he's going to end up getting one on with the safety. They bring the nickel, the star down. He ends up getting one on with the safety, and he's got a full head of steam running at this guy, and the safety's got to cover a lot of ground here. Really tough, not the best. Tough position to be in as a safety there. You got to turn and run with this guy. Earlier in the game, they tried to run something similar where there's hitch out here, seam or wide go there, but they stayed on it here, and he was able to get over the top, and you'll see how well they cover it here. Partially because you don't get just a free release running free at the safety. The nickel's able to get some hands on him, slow him down a little bit, and the safety's able to get over the top. Here was the touchdown. No hands. This guy's able to just run full out. You look at all the room he's got. Basically, if I run straight at this safety, I'm going to hold him right here. And now my quarterback has all this room to throw it because I know these guys are locked on. So a tough position to be in as a safety, having to cover all that ground with no reroute or anything, letting that guy just get up on your toes. And a pretty good throw and a catch too. So tough combination if you're a Florida defensive back there. So I thought this was the plan. You know, last year was the wheel route. So what was the plan this year? I thought this was Florida's plan. Motion the backs out of the backfield and see who you get covering the back. It looks like they got the nickel covering the back now. So he comes down to the other side. Right? So that might have been – we saw him work the boundary a lot. So right here, I believe he's got an option route. That's just my guess based on that he might have the option route, and that would make sense if that's what you're going to get. So you put formation in the boundary. So you put the 3 receivers into the boundary and only 2 to the field. Motion him out. If you get him matched up on a linebacker, you take that matchup. Maybe match up on the nickel. They told him just come down here. Might have been the game plan. So he drops it off, picks up a couple yards. Same thing here, motion out. They don't bring anybody over the top, puts it on the back right now. So I think that was the plan this year. They kind of got to it late, but you put the formation in the boundary, make them cover these 3 right here, and then motion the back out and see if you can get a linebacker to come out there with them. And then you got your back one-on-one with a linebacker where he can probably hook up, go out, go in, kind of depending on the route combination there. So you just put it right on him, get what you can. Georgia's also, in addition to have some great schemes, are a great tackling team, which you don't see a lot in college football nowadays. That's probably one of their biggest strengths is how good they are at tackling. Now you don't motion them here, but it's the same idea. I don't motion them out. But again, 1, 2, 3 into the boundary, get the coverage to roll this way, and get my back out of the backfield one-on-one with a backer. They drop out. Obviously, it's the end of the half, so they're going to give you some underneath stuff. But this was there even when they didn't drop out totally here. Here, if you got him out leverage, throw the bubble, that's fine. Pick up a first down. So this is a play that kind of throws it into – so this is one where I'm not sure what he's looking for over here. I think he's got a possible big play. There's a big play earlier in the game that if they could have protected it, they had coming open, like a scissors combination. I think it looks like they're trying to do something similar here, and he locks onto it. But you'll see here – so what I believe the combination is something like this. And the corner kind of comes open late, possibly. But again, you got this matchup here. with I would guess it's an option route, but they break it in a lot, so maybe it's only in. But right there, instead of waiting for that, if I just see that it's a little cloudy and I just drop it here, you'll pick up a good gain instead of getting a sack, right? You got to get the ball to your hands quick. You may not be able to wait. So here's another look at it. Right here, bang. As soon as I see this and I see that coverage turn that way, well, now it's really one-on-one right here. As soon as I see him turn there, eyes come back here. If my eyes come back there, bang, I put the ball on my back right now, put it on him, and get going. But instead, I'm kind of waiting for something that may come. It might get there eventually, right? So I'm starting to see the post coming now. Looks like there's some space to run into, but I don't have enough time, right? Waiting for the big play to possibly happen. They had something similar earlier in the game. Looked like they had Keon Zipper on the same kind of route where he was about to break open in the corner, but again, it was a sack. So those are the kind of things, this timing. Again, right here. As soon as I see that coverage engage, eyes right there. Put it on him. Pick up some yardage. What you can't do in these situations is take sacks. Even when you have timeouts, don't take a sack. Now you've got a timeout out of your pocket, right? So what's Georgia thinking? Hey, watch throws to the sidelines to try to get out of bounds. You got your back flexed out wide here. And this is easier to see. You throw the hitch, you kind of just look on alignment. So let's look at the kind of the wider angle. He's off and he technically pedals, right? On these hitches, if this guy's off and pedaling, that's when you want to throw it. But I used to always tell my quarterbacks, watch his upper body demeanor. If his upper body is like forward like this, he's going to be able to drive on the ball. He's not really pedaling and getting out of there. He's not really getting depth, right? So he's got eyes on the receiver and his demeanor is downhill. This is a long throw. You've got to get this right on him, and you cannot be in here. It's got to be missed out here. Missed outside if you're throwing this. This is not a great spot to be in right here. You throw that thing, you cannot miss there. This thing has got to be out here and low. If he doesn't catch it, nobody catches it. You miss inside like this. This is what happens. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. You just kind of gift wrap that one to him. So these are all things that you learn more as you play. And he has the ability, just maybe, not a great demeanor. And if I am going to throw it, I got to know where I got to miss. I got to miss here. Do not miss inside. Missing inside is interceptions. Missing outside is incompletions. We're okay with incompletions. Miss inside. That's what's going to happen. And we're back to the top. So a quicker video this week, but it was a rough game. I think this is that was the key kind of part of the game. So I wanted to really go through that and kind of see exactly what happened. So on defense, a misalignment to something that, not to sound, overly critical, but you see a lot of tackle over in high school, and you got high schoolers that make the adjustment, right? So they've got to get these guys. If they didn't go over tackle over, then that makes it tough. So hopefully you'd imagine the staff went over it, and somebody should have been yelling it out on the sideline or something, because that was a misalignment. That was an easy touchdown. Then the interception was kind of a really good play call by Georgia and good execution. The first one, and then you put the safety in a tough position, having to cover that route without any type of reroute. And then the pick there at the end, just kind of put yourself in a bad situation with a sack where Georgia can kind of squat on some stuff underneath, especially on the sideline, because they know you're going to try to save that timeout maybe for a field goal, right? So if you don't have to take the timeout for the sack, maybe they play you a little bit differently and aren't squatting on underneath throws. So a little tough game, but a lot to learn from. You're hoping your quarterback that you started here gets back and gets these reps that he needs throughout the rest of the year against teams that are not nearly as good as Georgia. I think he's got a bright future ahead. This is only going to help him grow. I thought Emory Jones came in the game and played well too against this defense, but we'll see how they look this week, and hopefully we have a lot longer and more fun video next week.